No sooner does the dust settle as our heroes climb to the top of Dreadgore's rift, and you gaze down into the blackness of the rift below. You return your gaze to the sky and see the complete and full eclipse of the sun has been complete for the past 12 hours now. And periodic tremors go through the earth as the world itself is changing beneath your feet. Not enough in the way that earthquakes would level cities, but enough that would make you uneasy on your feet and make you wish to sit down for a few moments. But nevertheless, I leave you here on the edge of shadow. Tone, would you describe your character for us?
Tone is a Weldman slave. Been traveling now for a while, completely ready for this. Been racing through his mind, ready for this darkness, but seeing the sun, looking down into this thing that we have to go into, he's feeling kind of uneasy, but at the same time, having his breastplate from the queen and his companions next to him, he's feeling pretty confident at the same time and feeling like he can take anything. And that's where Tone is at the moment.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. And no sooner does the silence break when Kirkfall makes a muttering comment to himself, probably a prayer up to the gods he does not believe in. But what do we see of Kirkfall?
Where we last left off, Kirkfall has this goblin in his hands because he just jerked the rope to him and pulled him forward, and he is shouting in his face. And a little bit of the anger and frustration and darkness is boiling over at the moment as he asks him, "Are you telling the truth? I don't think that's all you know." As the goblin spit out his meager responses, reaffirming as the yellow trickled down his leg and mixed with the brown. He kind of threw him down and kicked him in the ass to get him moving again. And deftly stepped over the wet spot on the earth. As he looked around and kind of cracks his head, his black-haired covered head, his goatee is somewhat overgrown for his liking, but he's on the road. His face is showing the day of several days' growth, and his furs are covered. They're cleaner, but there's a little bit of flecks of dried blood here and there. And as he looks around with an eagle eye, he continues down the path, but he feels it in the pit of his stomach, like the question of the ages. Maybe a prayer will help. Maybe this one time they'll listen to him. As he kind of looks up to the sky and lets his thoughtful prayer kind of drift up to the sky.
Thank you, sir. As Kirkfall is finished questioning your captive, Moonstrider looks on, grimly but thoughtfully. being an Umbriad of the underworld, the upper world now, being shrouded in almost as much darkness as your homeland. It's a bittersweet thing. Yes, the sun has always been an anathema to your kind, but this is not how things should be. You find yourself, for a split second, missing the stinging in your eyes. What do we see of Moonstrider?
As an Umbriad, he is comfortable underground, but the energy that is just exuding from this pit that they are about to delve into, it does not sit well with him at all. He's used to the dark, but the dark as a light and dark, not as a sickness. He does miss the stinging in his eyes because he's been above ground for a while and he's used to it, and the lack of sunlight is kind of depressing at this point. He wishes it was brighter out. He just he hopes that he can help his friends along this path that they've all set on, and hopes that he can be useful, and hopes they all see another day. Their lives may be shorter than his, but that doesn't mean they have to be cut short.
Thank you, sir. Now, in these quiet moments before the storm, that distant thunderstorm that you can see out over the sea from these high peaks, Dragon can spy them, the rolling clouds, up from the visor of his helm. You find your hand brush against the cloak pin, holding up your hood. It's a beautifully sculpted fey iron holy symbol of Lekra, your patron, and the lady that you serve. What do we see of Dragon here?
Dragon is leaning on his spear, almost trying to appear a bit nonchalant, as if he's ready to do this thing, but he's not too busy. But anyone who knows him can see the tension in his muscles as he gazes off into the distance. He occasionally glances to the side toward the goblin, which he just finds utterly disgusting. And he yearns for the cleansing rain of the storm of beyond. Mutters a quiet prayer to Lekra to let him strike true, and if not, strike him down. And looks over at Kirkfall and says, "Are you done with that thing yet?"
He throws him over to you.
Yeah,
He's all yours, my friend.
I don't want it. So, these things are disgusting and horrible. But necessary. Switch way, little goblin, before my friend Kirkfall eats you.
At that comment to being devoured by an ogre, he shoots a terrified look over at Kirkfall's enormous predatory form, and with a shaky, clawed hand, he points down the stone, the rough-hewn stone causeway, the stairway that goes down into the rift. He gets zigzags back and forth against the mountainside and disappears into the darkness. That is the only way in that I know of. Still shivering and fearful of your party.
I'll give him a bit of a nudge with the butt of the spear towards the beginning of that zigzag and say, "Lead the way, little man."
He reluctantly, fearfully crawls to his feet, and he moves past Kirkfall as almost as of a frightened animal trying to get away from a larger threat, but stops a good. You do what?
I lunge at him with my teeth bared.
Oh, he'll try and get away from you, but you're the one holding his leash.
Right, and that's what I keep doing is I keep kind of like goading him forward because we're not wanting to wait.
He will go to the end of his line down the causeway and lead you down, down, down deep into the blackness. A few minutes later, you are on the edge of that shadowy rift where the sun no longer penetrates. What do you do at the absence of sunlight?
I'll uncover one of the witch fire lanterns we have, cast a bit of light on the ground ahead. I'll hand the other one to Kirkfall and say, "Can you hold a little higher, my friend? You have the best vantage point for shedding as much light as possible."
You're always so gentle in your words.
No need for harsh words now, my friend. For those who go into battle with me are most definitely my friend.
True. We've come a long way, all four of us.
To your
What do we call
surprise,
you, you fucking green, scaly, shit-stained mess? Talking to the goblin.
for a few moments, the goblin doesn't answer, but you give him
I kind of whipped
jerk.
I jerked the rope on him.
He turns around. My name is Grum.
Gum. Perfect. All right. Let's get moving, Gum.
He leads you down the to your to your surprise and satisfaction, the witch fire does eat away at the blackness as you delve deeper. A good hour passes along this crumbling stairway. You at some points find yourself stumbling, and some steps crumble away beneath you. But finally you get to the bottom of this chasm, and you see a sea of bones, skulls, skeletons, not upright and coming after you, but piles. It is a mass grave, or possibly a place of ancient sacrifice, throwing victims down into the rift. Possibly this was an ancient place where the Umbriad took their criminals. You know this to be completely true. And there were quite a few criminals to be sorted out in the 1,000 cycles since. There's one large and wide opening there that your witchfire lanterns do reveal to you. What do you do at the mouth of this chasm?
While we're moving past these bones, I start slowly taking the rope up, and I'm sure that he's probably just getting nervous, and I just lean over into his ear and I say, "Look for a good thigh bone, one that's been broken. You may need it, but hand it to me first. I would like to inspect it, of course."
the goblin makes a concerted effort in hopes to please you and stave off his doom. He finds you exactly the bone, a long shard of a bone, a human's thigh, and he hands it to you.
And you could hold this and wield it like a weapon.
I know how to use a skinning knife, so
Well, I realize if I find it in my back or one of my companions' backs, a death would just be a welcome embrace for you.
He winces.
Find 2
But
more, and I shove it in my belt.
takes him a few more minutes. You guys are standing at the opening now, but he does find 2 more. Not nearly as long as the first.
Obviously, the place is dark, but does it have a touch of shadow about it by chance? Or should I
It
check
reeks of the shadow here.
that? Calls to a bit of darkness in my own soul. I say that out loud, by the way. Smell the air.
Yeah, I would imagine with Tone's shadow, he can be feeling it pretty well.
At this very point, in the opening to the cave that goes deeper down into the mountain, you find yourselves sick. Not in the supernatural sense, but a sick, sinking, nauseating feeling in the pit of your stomach. Something is clearly unnatural and not right here. How do you proceed?
And make sure my spear's at the ready. Bring the shield around. I'm going to hang the lantern on the front of the shield to allow us to get light from it and such. Look over at Kirkfall. Look at a Moon and Tone. And I'll say, keep your eyes open, guys, and get ready. I think something's coming. Can you feel it?
I'm definitely feeling uneasy.
Tone will notice as you enter the cave the runes inscribed around the waist of your breastplate and the left sleeve begin to glow. They give off an amber white light. Not enough to light the way, but enough that would be a candle.
I'm going to be kind of like, whoa, step back a little bit because I was used to it glowing, but this is kind of a new one. Turn to Dragon and be like, I'm pretty sure you're right, and kind of move my shield to show my the runes to Dragon.
I'll take a bit of a look at them. So,
Would Moon know what the runes mean?
Oh, those of you who can read the script of Feywise, you do see that these runes do inscribe a verse of a poem about an ancient king who refused to bleed to death.
I'll recite it in Feywise, and then say, Tone, it's a poem. I look over at Moon and say, very fey of the creator of this breastplate to do so.
Sorry, what was that? Sorry.
I said it's very, very fey of the person who created the breastplate to put a poem on there.
Very.
So it should protect your tone, but I believe the light is just well, not exactly sure what it is. It could be all kinds of possibilities. It could be that something dark is near, which we all seem to feel, or it could be getting ready to protect you. Maybe the light itself protects you. Either way, I look around out in the darkness, shine the shield around the witch fire glistening off the bronze embossments in the front, and see if I see anything dangerous out there.
You see nothing dangerous but your companions here. However, there's an ear-splitting scream of a female voice that echoes out of the cave from deep within the mountain.
I drop down a bit behind my shield, lower my spear up front toward it for a moment. Then take a deep breath and say, "My friends, let's see what's about."
What is that? I look at Grum and I say, "What is that?"
He does not know. He shakes his head.
You've never heard anything like that?
No,
Oh,
I've not. There were no human women, no slaves, only us goblins.
okay.
Something new then.
Something new.
A bit of a smile creeps on the dragon's face as he contemplates finding something new and start heading forward.
Yeah, Tonal kind of definitely move forward towards it with Dragon.
Can I get a perception awareness?
Sure. What are you looking for?
Specifically, I'm looking for things around us. If there's, I'm looking for. Actually, I'm thinking there might be something like a secret door or passage as we're walking along. Can I do a broads check as I'm looking as we're walking?
Oh, of course. I'm assuming as you guys are moving through the hallway here.
Yeah. So I got a 23.
As far as you can tell, with the lanterns there, this is a natural cave, not hewn or designed by hands, mortal or otherwise. There are, I suppose, some eroded smaller passages here and there, but nothing that all four of you could move through.
Right.
The only thing that seems made by hands is the slabs of stone that make rough staircase going deeper into the mountain yet.
Okay.
You eventually find yourself on a causeway that also has witch fire lanterns, sconces hanging from the walls. Clearly someone is home. And over a black lake does a bridge stretch, and there is another rough-hewn stone doorway on the other side. That's the space in this gallery, maybe about 200 yards across the way from where you guys are. You're standing on about a 20 by 60 ledge, a wide, narrow ledge.
I'm gonna hold my hand up and have everybody call people forward to me as I pull out this. It looks like a sewing kit. As I lay it down, I start talking. He's led us directly into the trap, if that's the case. And I start bringing up this vial of something, and I bring forth and I look forward to the first dragon spear, I guess. And I hold up the vial and I say, "This will help, possibly."
Okay, I'll look at it. And what is that?
Just don't cut yourself with it.
Understandable. I'll present the tip of the blade to you then.
Okay, and I start, you know, putting it on there so it'll begin to dry, because I would imagine that this paste kind of rubs on there, but then it sort of dries, and as long as you don't, once you get into battle and it cuts, that's where the action happens, right?
That is
Yeah,
reaction.
it goes on like a waxy film.
Yeah. So I'm using these tools that I have in here to just sort of paste it on there. And after Dragon, I asked Tone, present your weapon, please.
Take my axe, hand it over, lean it over to Kirkfall.
Okay. And I continue on, and I look over at Grum and I say, have you heard of Moonglove, shithead?
Moonglove is the shadow flower. A cut can fell dozens of mortals. I know of it.
Your bones will not have them. As I hand Tone's axe back to him, and then I look to Moon and I say, a couple of your arrows, or
Would Moon know if it's gonna like eat through the inside of the quiver or anything?
No, it's not that potent.
Okay.
But yeah, good question, by the way.
How many arrow tips can we coat?
well,
How
roughly
many
speaking,
Evan
I had
arrows do you
7
have?
Moonglove flowers. So, I mean,
I've got 9 ebon tipped arrows left.
That'll be enough to coat all 9 of those. Thoroughly enough to where it won't harm your fingers when you loose.
Right.
so I based it across the tips of his arrowheads, and then as I finish, I kind of scrape the edge off, and then drop the because usually the vials are one use. Unless you work in an alchemy shop, it's safer just to be rid of them. So I drop it off the edge into the river, and I fold up my case, which again begins to look like a sewing kit more than anything, and I roll it up and I put it in my bag. If this is a trap, you're getting stuck first, Grum. And I hand him the longest shank bone.
As you hand over that bone, Shiv, I need all 4 of you to make an awareness test, please.
Before I put the arrows back in my quiver, I'm putting like a thin lining or cloth that I have inside my quiver so that I can just peel that out and throw it away when I'm done.
Okay.
So it's not coating the bottom of my quiver.
Okay. Well done, Steve. That's a great roll.
Explosions.
Oh yeah. Okay. As all 4 of you see, as Kirkfall hands back the femur Shiv, you see a form, a skeletal and shadow stuff form stand across the lake from you. This thing, that foul, that demon with the golden crown, has been haunting your dreams since the beginning. Raises a left hand, and then he closes it into a fist, and there is a shadowy claw that reaches into your goblin captives. It's almost like fingernails that puncture into his skull as Grum's eyes glaze over and turn black as night, and he makes an attack roll at Kirkfall. I need Kirkfall to make a defense roll. And the rest of you, need to roll me your reaction.
So I got
What's
a
up?
total of a 12.
That's fine.
So I don't add my evasion in there, right?
No. That's
Okay.
evasion modifies your defense. We're just doing. Oh, excuse me. Yes. No. You're making a defense roll. Yeah.
So add evasion on that?
Yes.
So it'd be a 22 then.
All right. Perfect. Well, either way, he rolled a pair of ones, so whatever you're gonna do, you can probably brutally murder him. Go for it. The rest of you go for reaction there.
Just curious, it looks like he was magically forced to do what he just did.
Yes, he was possessed, so you're gonna have. He's making an attack at you though.
All right, I'm going to take the thigh bone that's in his hand now, and then spin it and shove it into his throat. Would it be considered a short blade?
Yeah. You actually described for me how you're going to murder him. So just describe for us how you kill him.
So as he attempted to attack me, I literally he had taken the bone and was attempting to attack. As I turned the bone and literally just sort of use his own arm and just grip my 6-fingered hands on it and just start sliding it slowly under his jaw. And as it's slowly going in, I said, "You could have had freedom." And then I pick him up and I just drop him into the river or the water.
Okay.
Underneath.
So now that our adversary has actually made the first move here, Dave, what did you get for your reaction?
Yeah, I'm not doing too hot here. So total of a 19.
Oh, okay. You all got 19s, huh? Wow.
Not me.
Or what did you get actually? Oh, 8. There we go. Gotcha. All right. Thank you. So Kirkfall, since he'll be up here first, he can actually make the first action. You're about 200 yards across the narrow bridge from your quarry. What does he do?
So the guy's at the far end of the bridge.
Yeah. He cast a spell from across the bridge.
Hmm. So I used the opportunity to drop the ogre, or the goblin rather. And
Okay.
I would like to act like I'm going to kneel down next to the edge of the bridge like I'm dropping him. And I'd like to roll an athletics check to to try to slip along the side and start moving along the side of the bridge. And would you allow me to do a stealth and athletics in one?
He can
You
see
see what I'm
you,
trying
and
to do?
there's no way for you to actually hide from where he's standing.
Oh, I got you.
Your best bet is simply to close the distance
Charge.
at this point.
If that's even him.
As far as he's been described, that is him.
What's the distance?
About 200 yards.
Whoa, that's a long run. Okay.
And he's just standing there waiting for you at this point.
I'm going to shout and hold my hands out with my kukris out because I've drawn him at this point, and I'm going to shout to him. It would be a lot more epic if we fought on the bridge. Bravado. And that one I got a, let's see, I guess I'm going to try for persuade. So that's going to be a 22 total as I'm walking forward toward him.
Okay. As you get to your guys' side of the bridge, he actually turns and walks down that hallway. But by the sense that I'm saying walking, his form dissipates, almost like a fog, and he blinks down the hallway. You are left alone. Combat is finished at this time. What do you do?
I look at my companions and say, I guess it's time to cross this bridge. We've gotten here.
Yeah, I would agree. We found out he's here, so let's continue on and see if we could catch up to him. But we definitely have to be on our guard at all times. We are in his lair.
You're right. I think both of you carry a lot of weight, but I'm looking at Moon and I say, you've grown up in underground caverns, right?
It's true.
This is a trap, isn't it?
Most likely. This is his domain. We need to be very wary with every step we take.
So
Natural
how do we
formations like this.
outsmart him?
Hmm.
What would you do, Moon?
Well, we don't know of any alternative routes to our destination.
Out of character, do you have a nature role of some sort that would allow you to maybe see natural fissures that what I would personally not see when I'm looking for secret, but he might because he grew up in it?
Moonstrider's got a couple grades at Wild Lore, I believe.
Yeah, I've got wild lore traveling awareness. The wild lore would help then.
That would be best here.
I can roll and take a look and see what I see.
Go for it.
And while he's doing that, I'm just going to kneel down and listen.
Not great. 13.
Nah, you don't see anything that would be advantageous for you guys. Best continue on. Yes, you're possibly being led into a trap, but you don't see any other options at this point.
Okay. Well,
If I die here, make sure nothing eats me. And I start trotting across the bridge.
I'm going to be pretty much not too far from Dragon, kind of leading the drive up the bridge.
Yeah, we'll be following him. I'd be following him.
I'm gonna put a hand on Kirkfall's arm and just say, I'm gonna watch the ceilings and floors. You watch the walls. You don't know what kind of traps this piece of shit may have put in this cave.
Makes sense.
Look for runes or something. He uses magic. Maybe it's a runic inscription on the wall or something.
Okay. And I'm
As you
going to be cautiously moving forward, scanning, so not to get bogged down in awareness. But
Okay.
maybe you could just ping me when you want an awareness roll.
I absolutely will.
Yeah, same. I'm particularly paying attention, like I said, to the ceilings and floors. Moon's assuming that if he can use magic and if he can set magical traps, he doesn't just have to go for the floors and walls. That ceiling is very important.
Perfect. You cross that causeway. You enter the opposing hallway. It's another staircase that winds, snakes down deeper, and there's a few other smaller rooms that look to be slave quarters, but there is no one here at these times. Just the smells of dirty bodies and hide rugs on which filthy slaves would lay
I'll be
upon.
I'll be using the butt of my spear to go down the stairs, just sort of tap the stairs as we go down. Make sure that any of them roll or are loose before I step on them.
Okay. You as you're tapping those stones ever so lightly, there's a brief echo that does go down the hallway, but you try and lessen it to dampen your approach. There's a few more moments, and you find yourselves opening up into a larger gallery still, which looks everything like an arch shadow cultist's lair. There is candles and all of the equipment that you would find in a study, a library, and all sorts of mystical accoutrements here. Now, there is a large runic circle in the back third of this gallery. This gallery is several hundred feet across at its widest. And it has a shaft that goes all the way up. You don't see sunlight up there peeking through, but as far as you're aware, if any of you are gambling men, that's an air shaft of some kind. But nevertheless, the demon, as you walked out onto that ledge, there's the stairway that goes down into this chamber to your left. Now, he's just finished sacrificing what looks to be a young fey woman in a golden and fire orange gown, and she herself has a crown of stars, not unlike the solar light that we find above in the overrealm. Now, those of us who are familiar with religions, we know that upon this stone table, the corpse of Levantine, the sun goddess, with her throat slit by the demon, is now leaking her golden luminescent blood into an iron bowl. The demon then turns to you with its skeletal and half melted skin pulled to its face, an unsettling sight of that which was once an honorable race of the ancients, now twisted and turned by shadow and hatred. And then it rasps to you from the stone floor beneath you. You have come I've been waiting for you for some time. He looks at Kirkfall, and the most unsettling and horrifying grin that a corpse could give you. Good to see you, old friend. And he holds up his iron bowl of liquid golden fey blood. He says, I have your advance payment right here.
Oh, please. The reality of it all is that as a guest, I would ask that you not do this. So please, not on my behalf.
He just
It's just like
rasps an
pan
evil
of
chuckle.
silence.
There's an uncomfortable few moments of silence, but he rasps an evil chuckle.
And I look
We'll
to my
come down
friend
and
and I
speak to
say,
you then.
yeah. Is that
As
how it's going to be? Is that what we're drinking tonight? The blood of the innocents? She was quite beautiful. Wouldn't you agree, Dragon? Tone?
as you guys have been talking, I've been examining or looking at my vantage point, what I can tell about this circle, and I'm trying to determine if it's safe to cross or not, or where I could possibly damage it, and maybe if I'm lucky in a ritual. So I sort of glance over at you, look at him, and I say, "Does this lich owe you money?"
Actually, he does. A lot of money.
I need you all to make sight tests, please.
$11.
Over here.
Okay. Oh man, Alex, a 7.
If it's straight sight, then yeah,
Oh god. Okay.
it's bad.
Okay. Tone and excuse me, not Dragon. Tone and Moon. You guys will be under the fear dread effect. So be -2 to your attack, in your defense rolls. So the demon beneath you, he does radiate this palpable, shadowy aura that's almost like smoke as he walks across. And you do notice that he actually does not have, his skeleton does not have the bones from his elbows down, or his hands are simply that of shadow stuff. And he dumps this iron bowl into a cauldron just nearby, and he's just ignoring you at this point. He does not sweat you guys at all.
Well, obviously, we have to stop this now. And I begin advancing forward.
All right.
I have an arrow ready.
All right. Everybody roll for reaction. All right, there's a good array. And of course, Seloth is going to go on a 20. So, as Dragon is walking down the stairway, or at least probably jogging down it, Tone, I'm assuming you're going to charge down past him.
Yeah, definitely.
As soon as you get to the bottom of the stairs, Seloth, he throws the golden fey blood into the cauldron, and then he turns on you and he simply just whips the iron bowl at you. And he's going to make a 17 attack roll.
$17.
17. Oh, okay. You actually describe for me actually how you dodge that. So you probably get your shield online.
He tosses the bowl. Coming down the stair, coming down the stairs. He put the button through it. Just nicely dodged it. Just caught it on the corner of my eye.
Okay, that bowl is gonna bounce off that shield with a nice bang. Now it'll be Tone's turn to act. What do we see of him?
About how far am I from Seloth?
Oh, you can pounce on him from here. You're about 30 feet.
Oh, then definitely gonna try to get in a hearty axe swing.
All right, brother, send it.
Nice. $24.
Oh, well done.
With the -2.
Oh, perfect. All right, you are going to land an attack. Describe for me how you do that. First blood to Tone.
So as he threw the bowl, had like a nice little bounce off back, kind of made it go back towards his direction. He kind of off stepped, and I get in like a good sweep. Not a complete hit, but enough to feel pretty good on the hit.
You're definitely bolstered by that defense there. Roll damage for me.
12.
Oh, well done. Nice to start it out with a bang, man. Great. All right.
It's that breastplate. It's that confidence.
Hell yeah, man. And in those moments where you actually sink that your axe head into Seloth's skeletal and shadow form, you do see a split second image as the blade connects. The Umbriad Queen in your mind whispering in your ear that you must come back to her when this errand is finished. It's just a flash. But now, Kirkfall is the next to act.
With Tone moving forward and starting to distract him, is it possible for me to slip down like on the side of the array here and start moving stealthily?
Oh yes, his attention is elsewhere. You can go for it. At least as far as you're aware, his attention is elsewhere.
Right. So I got a 28 for stealth. So I'm trying to move into position. If there's enough time, I'd like to attack, but still moving into position.
You're gonna need a few more moments to move into position and then pounce from there. But now, Dragon is the next to act.
As I start moving forward, I feel the sap start rising in me as I imagine the amber blood, that fey pouring into that cauldron, and then the way the blood spattered off of the front of Tone's shield as the bowl hit. and I fall into a fury and charge forward, screaming "Lekra!" Bracing my spear to my shield, I lunge forward towards him. It's point first.
Send it.
Not double eights. Man, I was learning.
Oh,
That is going to be a 16.
okay. He actually does see that that Fey Iron point, and he knows Fey Iron, and he actually if a White Lord's eyes could widen as that Fey Iron tip slides past his form, he does sidestep with the deftness of unnatural speed.
Okay.
Now, Moonstrider is the next to act.
Moon would like to. Is there anything he can duck behind real quick, kind of reposition himself out of sight?
You would actually have to go down the stairs and duck behind some barrels that are just there's about 6 feet in front of the stairs. There's 3 barrels there that you could duck behind.
How far how long is the staircase?
You could get there in a movement action, but you cannot actually attack if you want to do that.
Okay.
You set yourself up anyway.
Right. Can I? I can see him from the top of the stairs, right?
Absolutely. You have a great view.
Yeah. Can I hold my position at the top then for now, and fire 2 ebon arrows with the moon glove poison tip?
Of course. Send it.
Uh, 19 to hit on the first one. That's with the -2 already on there.
That is going to actually miss him.
Okay.
Roll for second.
A 29 to hit.
Well done. That's a solid hit. Roll damage.
There was 1 explosion on there.
Perfect.
Uh, 9 damage plus whatever the poison is, if it does anything at all.
No, he is actually undead. He cannot be affected by the poison at this time. So, all right, but you do hit him squarely as one of those arrows does knock into what sort of chest cavity that he has left.
Okay. Could Moon descend the stairs and then attempt to hide behind the barrels?
You will get there at the beginning of your next turn if you want to try doing that.
Okay. No, I'll hold it at the top of the stairs then.
Okay. All right. So Seloth is next to attack here. What he's going to do is he's going to dance a few very deft and incredibly graceful steps back away from Tone, and then he's going to try and light Tone up with some dark fire. Oh, okay. I need Tone to make a magical defense test, please.
$15.
All right. No, that's not going to save you here.
Didn't think so.
All right. Tone is actually going to, as Seloth actually comes back, he makes a few powerful gestures, arcane gestures with his hands, and then he utters something in the horrid shadow speech as Tone bursts into an icy blue and black Inferno as he drops back a few paces as he takes 18 vitality damage. All right. Yes, Alex, you can absolutely shed a fate point there.
Yeah, I want to use a fate point to either call out to Tone or however that would work to kind of warn him of the impending attack, since I have a vantage point and I can see the battlefield.
All right. Subtract a fate point. Tone, you'll actually take 9 of that instead. And now, Tone is the next to attack.
After getting hit by this flame, just feeling this utter like pain, I look up at Moon real quick and shine my axe, and then quickly put my eyes back on my target and try to brush off this attack and kind of move back in to sink my axe in deeper than last time.
As you pull forward with the attack, actually go ahead and send it. The flame is actually lingering there, and you will take an additional point of vitality each turn that you are ignited. What do you got, brother?
18.
All right, that's going to be another solid hit. Send it. Roll damage.
Uh, 6 on that one.
All right, perfect. Thank you for that. Describe for me how you sink that attack in.
Okay, so still kind of on flame. Took a step, winced, realized like, I didn't kind of completely realize. So I make this kind of like speed dash forward, just kind of throw my shield to the side to give the axe some momentum and get another good hit, kind of aiming for where the arrow that Moon just sunk in.
Perfect. That's beautiful. I need Kirkfall's action this turn.
Kirkfall is sneaking up there, and while he's doing so, he's kind of trying to scan his occult insight 24 to see if he can think of, like, if these things are just outright killed or if there's something that they are stored within.
Out of character, a White Lord is not a lich. He does not have a phylactery. He is simply a haunting.
Okay. And what would I understand of a haunting then? Maybe with that roll. How would I kill it?
You need to somehow banish his spirit from this realm.
Okay, and going further with, I mean, obviously this is my turn.
You really don't have enough time to actually be thinking about this and analyzing this at this time. So,
oh, I'm sorry.
I
thought my
get what
fingers
you're saying.
faster.
No, you're good. I'm assuming this is all like racing through Kirkfall's head.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying is I'm still sneaking around. I'm thinking quickly like about this because I've learned a lot recently, and so I need to banish it, and then I think, how would I banish it?
Go ahead and make an occult insight test here quick for me as you're getting ready.
Another
I'm assuming
one?
you're going to attack this turn.
Yeah, I wanted to attack, but if I'm thinking about this, I mean, I did roll 1, which was a 24.
Oh, then that's actually not enough to actually solve this conundrum for you. Go ahead and roll the attack.
Oh, okay. That's 2 8s.
Oh, you rolled an 88?
88 and another 8 and a 7.
Nice. Oh
So,
my god.
37 short blades. So that is 49 to hit. That's the first attack. So
Good goddamn, man.
second attack is 6 9. That's a 21. And was it out of ambush?
You cannot ambush the undead.
Okay. So that second one was 21.
Are you exploding your damage die?
Not yet. That was, you said I get 3 attacks, right?
Yes, you get 3 attacks.
So that was my second attack, which is 21.
Okay.
And then the third attack is a total of a 20.
Okay.
So,
You're going to land at least the first one. Roll damage once then.
okay. Well, I mean, the first was a crit, right?
Right.
Plus physique. So that's a total of 13 prior to, so we're going to multiply that times 2, so it's 26.
Yeah, you roll them separately. You don't multiply them.
Oh, all right. So I'll roll them separately.
It is damage die physique, damage die physique, damage die physique. You don't do extra.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'll re-roll it then. So 3, 6. So that's a total of 7 points of damage on the first one. So
Okay.
that's the crit. So I'll have to roll it again. So that's an 8 plus 5 is 13, 16, 17 because it's their iron.
Yep.
So what is that? 23 total.
Okay. Now I need you to roll me 1d8 for the crit chart.
That's a 7.
Oh man, a 7? Oh, okay, hang on here.
What? That's not good.
Oh, you want to roll low on the crit chart.
I'll have to tell my dice next time.
Yeah, damn it, dice. God. Shame on you for screwing us over. We could all die. Wow. Okay. Dave, right or left?
Left. I'd like to go sinister.
Okay, you cut off his left arm.
Beautiful. Did the other 2 hit?
No, you did not.
All right. Do you mind if I describe it?
Absolutely. Please, I want to see how that worked out.
So actually, his tone is getting, just erupted in flame. He probably notices this explosion of movement out of the corner of his eye as these kukris just move, and it's like this blur of fur as the right arm just comes up and catches the shoulder blade and literally just severs the arm from the socket as it falls away, even though it's a ghastly form. And he comes around with the left one, and it looks like a deft strike, but unfortunately, it is not deft enough. And the third one goes for a leg shot and probably clips a little bit, but seems to skitter off of this shimmering image that is this ghostly frame. And he kind of crouches down and he winks at Tone as he looks down briefly and glances at the form of this stubby arm that fell to the ground, because I would imagine you described him as stubby arms, right? Broken at the forearm.
He has the upper arm bones, but from the elbow down, they're their forearms and hands made of darkness.
Yeah, so I would imagine that as it falls and hits, it just sort of, the hand is clutching and just slowly, like a swirl of shadow, just begins to swirl away as the bone remains, but the shadow disappears.
What you're actually going to see here is as your kukri cleaves through the upper arm and into the shoulder, that bone will actually fall away from his torso and will clatter to the floor as the lower shadowy portion of the arm is dispelled, only leaving the upper arm bone there. What Seloth is going to do at this point, he's going to use one of his legendary actions to actually shadow step. He doesn't make any sounds of pain or what have you, but as he takes that blow, he turns and he makes another arcane gesture with his right hand, and he vanishes there in front of you. Now,
And I speak briefly. I'm like, we just started dancing, and I'm just saying it loudly into the echo of the chamber.
Dragon is the next to act.
As he vanishes, I scream no, and of course move forward in the area where he was just at. Seeing that he's not there, my next thought is to look up at the body lying in the middle of the circle, and I'm going to go to the edge of the circle and look down. And is this drawn on, or is this a inlay into the floor? This circle.
It is inlaid into the floor. You actually, there's some form of invisible barrier that's actually pushing your form back as you, possibly as the toe of your boot actually tries to pass over.
Okay, then I'll try to use the tip of my spear to mar or disfigure this circle if I can. I want to basically attack it for all intents and purposes.
Would you make me an attack roll, please?
Okay. That's an 8 and 7.
Fantastic. That has a static defense of 4, so you roll damage.
So, yep. All right. Not so great. 5 there for the damage. Well, yeah.
You do scar up that rune, but however, the invisible field holding and binding this circle together does push the spear point away. It does not damage the Fey Iron tip, but it does push it away.
Okay. I'll yell in frustration at this thing.
All right. Moonstrider is the next to act. You're in cover by now.
Okay. Do I see anything? Did I see where it went? Is there any indication which way he went?
No, actually, well, you excuse me, you do actually see him. He is at the other end of the circle as he's with his right hand, he is kind of holding the gap where his the ball and socket joint of his shoulder would be as he's incanting something. The rest of you may make awareness tests at this time as well.
If it helps their rolls at all, I would shout. I would kind of point, even if they can't really see where I'm pointing. I would shout. Does it look like he's at the head of the circle?
Yes.
I would shout, the head of the circle. casting some sort of spell. Stop him. And I would try and shoot 2 more arrows at him.
Right.
Or rather, I would shoot the first one and I would see what happens.
All right. Roll it. You're attacking him that spell. He's got to make an occult insight so he doesn't lose the spell points. Send it.
It was pretty garbage. That's 13 to hit.
Ooh. Okay, he beat you by 2 points. That
that -2 screwed me.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I calculated that in already.
Do you want to send the second one?
If it looks like I just missed and not like the and not like it got deflected per se, then I would probably I'll just try again.
All right, send it, man. Ooh, you actually might get through on that one.
Not if one of my dice keeps rolling low. 17.
Oh, yes. Roll damage. You beat him by 1.
Oh, thank God. One of my dice keeps rolling low. It always changes, but it's always 1.
Oh my God. Or
rather, not like a 1, but like one of the dice always seems to be rolling low tonight.
Oh, okay.
But that damage roll was absolute shit. That's 5.
Oh, every point counts, man. Every point counts. All right, everyone will actually be able to see him at the head of the circle at this point. He finishes whatever he's incanting, and that cleaved arm bone actually will shoot, almost returning to the corpse that it was actually severed from, and he'll actually catch it with his right hand, and you will actually witness the unhallowed act of him actually resetting the bone as the darkness does actually remend the bone there, and he does pull the shadow down from the elbow to reform his left hand as if it was never dispelled in the first place. And now it is Seloth's turn. What he is going to do, he's going to make another spell test here. Ooh, okay. I need Kirkfall to make a magical defense test, please. All right, what's going to happen here is he's going to attempt to light Kirkfall up with dark fire as well. All right, for 17 points of vitality, Kirkfall does erupt in that icy blue and black inferno that Tone was previously done with. Tone is the next to act.
Well, I guess I'm gonna try to, since it is a flame, gonna try to kind of roll to put it out. I guess, like somehow get this flame off of me.
Go ahead and make a reflexes test for me, please.
Reflex. 21.
Okay. You do dampen the fire, but there is still a lingering effect here. You are not a flame, but you will take almost a vampiric like damage every turn from here now. If Tone wishes, he can actually move forward and attack once more.
Yeah, since I still can, I would like to still, if I'm feeling that draining, I'm gonna be liking to dish out some pain.
Isn't there a cauldron next to us full of water?
Oh, it's not water.
Okay.
Oh man, that's a garbage defense roll. Okay. What do you got for me, Steve?
16.
Oh yeah, roll it.
Yes.
Give me some damage.
I didn't think I was gonna hit with the 16.
He rolled a 9.
Oh, so I'm gonna do 7 damage.
Nice. All right. So, Kirkfall is the next to act. You take an additional point of vitality this turn because you are engulfed in flames.
How do I put out the flames?
As far as you're concerned, that is an enchanted fire, not a natural one.
And I would need an occult insight to understand how to do that, right?
Go for it.
I'll turn to him and be like, "Stop, drop, and roll doesn't work."
Yeah, 17.
That roll will actually give you the answer. By slaying the caster, the flames and the lingering draining effect will actually dispel it. As long as he breathes, quote unquote, you're still going to take damage.
Well, so there's this. He poured the blood in the cauldron.
Yes.
I would like to. How far is he from me?
You can move up and attack at this point. You'd be standing next to Tone. He's on the other side, the head of the circle there.
I would like to, again, we are getting to heroic levels. I would like to jump up, kick the cauldron with 1 foot, and use it to leap forward, but also spill the cauldron.
Okay.
And jump up next to Tone. And then at least do 1 attack.
Okay, with that, you will do 1 attack. Go ahead and make me an acrobatics test for me.
Can I use athletics instead?
No, this would be acrobatics here.
Oh, I didn't know there was acrobatics. Okay. All right. So I guess it's going to be based all off my physique.
Yep. This could be amazing or really bad.
Yeah, I'm not very good at. I'm not trained in acrobatics, so.
Oh no!
I got a
Okay.
12. I'm
12?
trained in athletics, yeah. So.
I'd like to spend a fate point for Kirkfall and yell out, "Remember those who have fallen."
Okay.
Hopefully allow him to succeed on that.
Shedding a fate point will actually
Yes.
will actually make him succeed. Well done. Kirkfall, roll attacks. Roll an attack. Excuse me.
Thank you, Keith. 15. 27 to hit.
Ooh. Oh my. Okay. Okay. I beat you by 2 points, man.
Son of a bitch.
Describe for me how you attack. He's actually going to deftly step out of the way of your attack here.
How is Tone facing him?
Steve?
I would imagine my about my left side would be to the circle, and he'd be in front of me with him. Probably he was looking at it. Probably would have turned to Kirkfall to cast his spell with the right hand.
All
Yeah,
right,
that's pretty
so
accurate.
I would imagine that Kirkfall jump. I mean, kind of did a jump, but acrobatically kicked off of the sort of started the jump toward the cauldron, which he kicked it. The thing started spinning, and you could see the slow motion effect of as whatever's in it just starts to erupt out of it onto the floor. But that propulsion pushes him in a direction so that he is flying toward this unliving monstrosity, and he's goes to strike as he's flying past it, and unfortunately he's extremely close, but the thing just kind of bats his arm, the newly replenished arm, as there's kind of this half smile on its crusty lips that he can use the arm again as Kirkfall sort of lands in behind it.
All right. Beautifully done. Thanks. Thanks, Dave. Dragon is the next to attack.
With the reminder to Kirkfall still in his lips, he follows it up with the call to Electra and asking for her to help him avenge all those who have fallen by this thing's foul hand. And I charge around the circle toward this thing to shove this spear into it if I possibly can.
Alrighty.
That is going to be a 19.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. All right, I got a 24 on the die. Describe for me how you try and put that spear through him.
I charge around, and as I rear back with the spear, the thing's chest in my sight, the balance perfect in the spear. I lunge forward, and fortunately, my foot happens to hit a bit of that blood, and I lose my footing, causing the point to just veer to the left and just past its torso.
Right, beautifully done. The Moonstrider is the next to act.
Does Moon see any visible change in Salath once the blood, the cauldron is tipped?
None.
Okay. Seeing his friends set on fire one after the other, he's not happy about it. He's gonna kind of recall to himself that the best way to kill something is to take out the head, to hit it in the head. So he's gonna try and make a unicorn out of Salath, and he's gonna aim kind of right in his forehead region.
There is a lovely gap between his golden laurel of horns that you can easily aim for right there. So,
So he's
go ahead
gonna,
and make a called shot, brother.
yeah, he's gonna make the called shot right in that region.
Oh my god. Oh,
Absolute dog shit again.
oh my god. Okay.
11 and then whatever else you have to. That's with the -2 and then whatever other math after the 11. Because yeah, rolling awful.
All right, man. You're doing all right. He actually would have passed that with a 29 anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Not to make it any better
No,
for
I know.
you.
I was trying to get the bad juju out, and then I rolled
Right.
double eights, and I was like, maybe it's good, and then it was awful. So he's gonna take another aim shot at the forehead because why not?
God damn it! Let's come on now. All right, do it.
Okay, that was an explosion followed by a 1, but does that 1 still count?
No, the 1 is a suppress.
Okay, so that was still a
It's still an 8.
it was still an 8 originally. So that's 24.
Ooh.
Again, already counting the -2, but then whatever you need to minus further.
Okay, no, he beat you by 2 points, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so Seloth is the next to act. He is actually going to take another step back, and he's going to utter something as his orange, glowing, malevolent eyes actually turn to that icy blue of the flame that's actually wreathed around 2 of your companions here. He'll utter something, and then 4 forms actually melt out of the darkness and begin to join you in the melee. So Kirkfall needs to make me a defense roll, please. All right, a 17. Okay, that is actually going to beat the defense. I need you to describe how you defend yourself against the lurker that is now attacking you from behind.
So Kirkfall had just landed next to him and was kind of rolling with it, and he just, out of awareness, this innate awareness that he has developed, he senses the presence, and as he is rolling, he uses the motion of his arms that are already in a motion, and he just sort of carries it over and takes the iron and just touches the weapons, the arms of whatever the attack slowly, and just shifts it so that it just does not attack him, and he moves steps out of the range.
All right, beautifully done, brother. Thank you. All right, Dragon needs to make. Wait, hang on. I actually got an 88 on you. All right, what Dragon will actually see is a lurker of the form that is actually laying on the stone table within the ritual. Well, it used to be a she. The form of the young woman leap out from the shadow from beneath the stone table, and she will throttle him about his neck and take him to the floor. He will then take 7 points of vitality damage as she, or what previously was the goddess of the sun, strangling you to death. Describe for me how Dragon struggles on the floor.
He falls to the ground, his not expecting the attack from behind, as those icy hands gripping on his neck, and so he hits the ground and realizes the shape of what's attacking him. A look of absolute horror comes over his face, because this is the antithesis of what gives life to everything. This perversion is just going to, in equal parts, horrify and enrage him as he gasps for breath and just can't get it around these icy fingers. He'll, of course, try to get his shield underneath him so he can actually hopefully get up next round.
Excellently done. I need Moonstrider to also make a defense roll from cover. Oh my goodness. All right. I got a 28 on this attack. What do you got for me?
I got a 8.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I'm literally rolling absolute garbo.
All right, he's Moonstrider is also going to take a claw from a small Umbriad child haunted by the darkness that is going to rake across his face. What he's going to have for the rest of his days is a set of 4 blackened trenches carved from his left cheekbone to his lower lips as the thing rakes through his fey flesh as he's knocked to the ground. Tone is the next to act.
So how far away is Seloth from me?
He's right in front of you. You can step forward and get him.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep attacking him.
Awesome.
Sick. 21.
Ooh, a 21. Yes, you do beat him. Go ahead and send me damage, man.
7.
Well done. Very well done. Describe for me how you do it.
I see these things come and start attacking my companions, and out of kind of like terror, I remember the gravekeeper we fought, and how when we took him out, things kind of settled down. So my main thought was, if I get him, I could be helping my friends. So I lash out with my axe and just sink in another good slack, kind of using that arrow as a good aiming point to keep getting him.
Excellently done. You have no idea where Seloth is or how well he is actually doing, for he is a being of undeath and having an unnatural strength and speed to him. You start to feel that draining hopelessness of literally fighting the dead. This battle could be a battle of immortals and go on forever. And now Kirkfall is the next to act.
How much damage per round is the fire? 1 point?
1 vitality.
But
You'll
it's
take
not
another one
doing,
this turn.
it's not doing visible damage. It's more impacting me spiritually, or like
It's an unnatural fire that damages you that way. Your flesh isn't searing off, but it's essentially consuming your light is what's being burned away.
we don't know where Saloth is currently.
He's standing right in front of you.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like physically in his vitality.
Okay. So I drop my kukris and I pull the 2 ebon daggers that I have stashed behind my belt, and I bring them up and I just go for the stabs to the back of his head.
All right, roll damage. Or not roll damage, roll attack.
10. Those are considered short blades, right?
Yes, you're going to take a penalty to attack because those are actually human implements, not ogre implements.
Son of a bitch. What's the penalty?
-2s, man.
So I got a total of 20 on that one, so a dirty 20.
A dirty
And
20.
25. So 23 on the second one. And I get a third attack because I'm in.
All right. Oh my god, okay.
13, 25, and that's another 23. So
Okay. he's actually going to dodge all 3 of those at this point.
While I am talking, I am going to spend a fate point, and I am going to start speaking because I was with Oren on the road, and I had to listen to his fucking droning for hours at a time. He would pray, and I start fucking chanting one of his goddamn prayers to the silent monolith. And I am going to spend a fate point right now to channel the silent monolith in this moment. Use me as a vessel. Because I fucking...
Oh, God. Okay. He actually went ahead and crit on his defense, so you wouldn't have been able to do damage. But the fate point is actually going to make you succeed on 1 attack anyway. So roll it. Oh.
So well, which done, attack hits?
Just the first one.
Just the first one. Okay.
Yep. Roll damage.
And as this ebon dagger wakes the fuck up with light of the silent monolith, which Kirkfall is unable to describe because he does not recognize the silent monolith. I mean, he recognizes the thing there, but you know what I mean. He doesn't know the spiritual acts. He gets 10 points of damage.
Fantastic.
No, it's actually +2 because it's an ebon dagger, so it's 12 points of damage.
Wonderful. Keith, since you are our resident priest of the earth, would you like to describe briefly how the dagger reacts as Kirkfall is running him through?
Okay, as you begin to pray and that dagger begins to come forward and come down, the ebon itself seems to sort of morph in your hand. Not really a glow of a light, but sort of a almost like the reflected glow of that you would see off of leaves and such from the sunlight itself under a thick canopy. And as your blade almost misses, literally vines spring from this dagger, wrap around your hand, and change the direction, plunging the dagger into his flesh.
Beautiful. Well done, Keith. Thank you very much.
And take a fate point. And somewhere off in the distance,
shut up, Dave.
Oren suddenly looks down toward the earth out in front of his new temple. Here's a little voice and smiles. I finally converted him, he says.
Oh my God.
Oh no, I just got sick and tired of listening to it and just sat there and listened. I'm just going to go to sleep listening to prayers.
Dragon is the next to act.
Well, Dragon, being emboldened by this prayer and seeing this mystical act occur right in front of him, can't help but call it Electra, croaking through the choking fingers of this thing, and not thinking of himself, but thinking of his companions and thinking of everything that is going on and how this literally the dark shade of the sun itself is choking the life from him. We'll also spend a fate point and lunge toward this horrible undead thing's face with the tip of his spear from the ground.
Which you're doing. Well, you're actually proned. That lurker is still throttling you about the neck.
Oh, okay, so I couldn't do that. Okay. Well, could I spend a fate point then to rip myself from its grasp and leap up?
Okay, go for it.
Okay, I'll do that. And then I got an 8 on that. Now that would be a athletics or acrobatics.
Athletics. It'll be strength based.
Okay. Yeah, that is going to be a 22 then.
All right. Ooh. I got a 15. Describe for me how you do that.
Okay. He'll, because he says they caught Electra, and as I said, as he was going to the ground, he was trying to roll over to his shield, and what he'll do is, as I said, he croaks out to Electra and slams the shield into this thing's side as he continues his roll, hopefully, and of course dislodging it from his throat. And as he finishes his roll, he gets his feet under him, or he gets his arm under him and pushes up, taking himself to his feet so that he can ready himself for an attack against the undead horror in front of him.
Right. As you are doing that, you gaze up into the white pits of what used to be, nightmare of nightmares. You're looking at the shadow of the being that once was the goddess of the sun. As you are able to push the shadowy claws away. And now it is Moonstrider who is next to act.
Okay. This small creature has come out of the darkness and is threatening, has already ravaged his near perfect face, and in a rage, he will pull out the ebon dagger that he acquired some time ago, and he will lunge at this thing, furious for how it has scarred him.
Excellent. Roll me attack.
$11 to hit.
That is actually going to that's going to land. Send it.
Uh, 6 damage.
Describe for me how you dispatch this thing of the darkness.
Since it has given him a nice couple gouges down the left side of his face, he is going to return the favor. He is going to, you said it looks like a Umbreon child, like an undead Umbreon child.
Yes, it's a little girl.
He is going to just look at this thing, fury in his eyes, and go, "It's your turn." And then he's just going to stick the blade in her ear and just bring it down to her mouth. And just the same ear. And just cut right down.
I need you to make me a spirit test. A defense with your light because you are attacking a child.
You said it's spirit?
Yes, it's a spirit test.
It's a 4.
Oh my god. You will take an additional 4 points of shadow sickness as this horrifying act will haunt you for the rest of your cycles. Now, Seloth is the next to attack. What he is going to attempt to do is he is going to attempt to use the spell Blind to magically put out the eyes of Kirkfall. I need Kirkfall to make a magical defense test, please. 2d8 plus your sight modifier. All right, what will happen? And a 12 will actually not succeed. Seloth will actually close his fist, and he will actually look into the eyes of Kirkfall, and he will utter another horrifying shadows syllable as shadow will erupt from the fist, the left fist of Seloth, and then plunge deep into the eye sockets of Kirkfall. Describe for me what Kirkfall does to react.
It's a moment of he's trying to think of some sarcastic quip to say because that's how he reacts to nervous situations, things that make him uncomfortable. He reacts with sarcasm to try to belay and make people laugh. But the reality is as the encroaching, it's not really a vision. He just sees these blackness, sort of like if you've seen a window shatter slowly. The shatter begins around the edges of his eyes, and his vision becomes like these black wisps begin moving forward, but quickly, almost like they'll move slowly and then they'll just jerk and then move slowly again and then jerk again. And then next thing he knows, he's literally unseen. And as he sits down, he literally kneels down in front of the creature, not because he's trying to be reverent or anything. He's just simply trying to get his bearings of the situation. And he looks up and he says, he tries one last feeble attempt as his voice breaks. In the process, he says, I thought we could be friends.
Well done, Dave. Thank you. That was beautiful. Tone. What do we see of Tone this turn?
I'm gonna see Kirkfall just drop to his knees, and I could kind of see the shadow, and I could see his eyes just fill with this black, and I could kind of tell what's going on, and with the creatures around, what's happening with the fire, now Kirkfall's vision, just knowing I need to take this thing out, I'm gonna kind of dash past Kirkfall and try to get another axe sweep in.
Steve, before you do,
Yes, sir.
seeing a brother in arms be laid low so cowardly and pathetically with black magic, is that enough to make Tone lose his shit?
Oh, completely. The whole stress of this whole situation, yeah, it's completely like that's kind of that feeling I was getting, just snap, just that one tract, losing your shit.
You give me a fate point, I'll let you fury for this round.
I will fate point.
Make an attack roll. Oh my god, okay. Whew.
Oh, what is Fury at again?
Fury is +2 to attack, +2 to vitality for rounds equal to your physique modifier.
Then I got a 35 on my attack.
Oh my god, yes. All right. All right. Since he actually rolled a pair of ones, I would like for you to describe how you slay him.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna take him out, man. If you need a few moments, take a few moments to describe it for us.
Okay, yeah. So, you know, taking in the whole situation again, seeing these, the children's again, remembering the graveyard, uh, just seeing the situation everyone's in, and then a Kirkfall, just blinded and dropping to the floor. This man, this man to me that, pretty much took me in and, helped me become this, powerful person that I'm actually standing fighting this evil thing. And I feel this fire burning inside of me, and I could just see the queen as she flashes into my mind, and I could just see her guiding me and helping my axe swing, like remembering our night together. I kind of feel her behind me guiding my arm as I run past Kirkfall and just boom, right into the top of his golden crown, smashing his front golden pieces, trying to get it down, just ripping his skeletal whatever, just trying to destroy that crown, his face, as I drag the axe down, remembering chopping my wood and getting it down as far as I can.
With such a terrific blow, you're actually going to split him from his cranium to his breastbone as the axe head will pass through his skull, through his collarbone, down into that black glowing thing of a heart there as you end him. You end him forever. The axe, when you finally connect, you tear the axe free. And what once was an ebon head, actually, excuse me, an iron head and axe is now an ebon battle axe ruined with the symbols of the light and the sun as the form of Seloth the Terrible will actually melt away into ashes. What I'm going to need from everyone is reflex saves as all of that shadow energy is dissipated in a cataclysmic explosion. Send it. Yes, Kirkfall will actually have a -4 here.
And now I get double eights.
Oh my God, well done. Oh, shit. Oh my God. Moonstrider and Kirkfall
Is it,
will take.
is it possible to say a prayer to shield against this oncoming onslaught of darkness?
Absolutely. The patron that many Umbriads pray to is Feldane, the father of the night. But if he has a specific deity that he wishes to call upon, please do.
Moon will just kind of see this erupting darkness. I assume like exploding towards him.
Yes, it's like a wave of razor shadows.
He'll just meekly drop to one knee, and he'll mutter under his breath as he stares at this darkness. He just stares exploding at him. He will just whisper, Azeroth, protect your humble servant, that I may continue to protect the woods, your woods. Please.
Beautiful. Moonstrider and Kirkfall will take 7 points of vitality as the explosion rips through you.
Is it possible with my double eights I could actually say maybe plant my shield and turn and possibly partially shield Kirkfall since I'm right there next to him?
You can attempt to, but at that point, they'll both take that kind of vitality damage.
Okay.
As
Oh,
this
sorry.
moment, there's this eruption of light that begins to peel back the layers, and it's almost as if Tone can see his eyes being layered back, like almost like onions. No pun intended, even though he's an ogre. As it actually starts peeling back his skin with it, because it pushes him back to -7 vitality as it literally starts peeling his skin back from. You can see Kirkfall's husk begin to slough off of his skin in this kneeled motion as he sort of falls forward, and his skull actually falls forward and is looking at Tone through the split of this cord.
Yeah, I want to interrupt and spend my fate point, and I would like to use my big ass shield to try to step in front because I'm right in front of Kirkfall already from killing him. So I'd like to try to do some form like that with my last fate point. You know, because I'm already in my fury and rage to
All right.
save.
I will allow it, but your shields will be destroyed.
Fuck the shield.
Well done, everyone. Well done.
So for a moment there, you saw this glimpse of the future that what once might be, and that was an ogreish skull leaning forward over this dead body of this undead being. But instead, you see Kirkfall holding his head and these ebon daggers laying before him, and his eyes are just, he's wiping the stuff off, and he's just like, his head almost appears to be throbbing. It's so, his head is so painful right now. The ultimate hangover.
I'm going to just be like panting, slowly turn around, stare back at Kirkfall. That image that I saw, complete and utter terror, and just so used to everything. And, like I said, Kirkfall just being one of those things to me, to just see him like, just any form of alive, complete and utter relief.
He kind of looks up to you, and he's got like these black smudges underneath his, and it almost looks like makeup that's surrounding his eyes, that his eyes are bloodshot at this point. And he holds up his hand like, just sort of, we did it, I think.
The things, the sickness that you see trapped within Kirkfall's eyes, his eyes are no longer white. His eyes do not no longer have his iris or his pupil. They are simply black. He is still leaking this inky black blood from his eyes, as he still sees only black. He sees nothing.
I look over at Kirkfall and the darkness in his eyes, and I start racking my brain to think, how do I fix this? How do I cure this? Is there a way to reverse it? 19, by the way, on a occult insight. And I go over and grab his face. I say, Kirkfall, hold steady, my friend, hold steady. And I gaze into the sightless eyes.
Is the threat gone?
Yes. Tone earned that breastplate today and made himself the King of Kings. It would have been glorious for you to see, my friend. Glorious.
As you're holding his skin, you can actually almost see this eruption of strange bruising underneath, which is probably a result from the fire, the witch fire that was. It is the remnants are still within.
Moon's gonna slowly walk his way down towards his companions. Kirkfall, you still blind? Can you see?
I recognize your voice, but I cannot see you.
Moon's gonna look down, or maybe straight at Kirkfall if he's still on his knees, probably about as tall or maybe even still taller than Moon.
Yeah.
He's gonna pull a clean rag from his pack, and if he could say another prayer, if it would help, he's gonna use a fate point and ask his god Azeroth to restore Kirkfall's sight, if he could find it, if he finds it acceptable. And he would just kind of wipe at Kirkfall's eyes with the rag, wiping away the smudge, hoping that it would do something.
As you,
I don't know who this. I don't know who this deity is, but this person is. But I don't know what they have for Kirkfall, but I would appreciate it. I mean,
what language is Moonstrider speaking in?
He would be speaking in. I can find my languages. He would just go to his native Shadow Feywise.
Excellent.
I wouldn't know that, so I wouldn't respond.
Yeah, he would.
As you place the cloth over Kirkfall's eyes, the cloth itself glows in a soft green light as spectral oak leaves do form and then are drawn to the rag and then dissipate into the cloth. As Kirkfall's sight is not restored, but there is no longer pain. And the flesh of Kirkfall's face is healed. Magically healed in this way. As we all see the miracle of miracles, the flesh of the ogre, our heroic brother in arms and friend in the shadows. No scar tissue is formed, but his face is remade, as if nothing had happened to him. That is Azeroth's blessing from the woodlands.
I bow my head, say a word of thanks. Sort of a choke in the middle of that. As I look up at Kirkfall's eyes, I look over at the other two and I sort of shake my head as if to say, I know nothing that will fix this. And I stand up and turn around, casting aside the slag that was once a shield. And I look over towards the altar where the bodies lay. And I walk toward it to gaze upon the form of the slain son, and a tear falls down my cheek as I mourn its passing.
Moon will join you, by the way. He does what he can for Kirkfall, and then he turns and the Umbriad being a lustful race that appreciate beauty, I assume, maybe more than others. Maybe not, but he'll join Dragon over there, and he'll fall to his knees, hands kind of on the edge of the altar, maybe just touching the leg of the dead goddess, and Moon will weep for the dead beauty.
Beautiful. What do we see of Tone?
Tone's still kind of just taken back by the whole situation. Extremely happy to see Kirk fall better, but saddened to see his eyes still not working. But still in the moment, Tone never actually it doesn't still feel at ease, even though he's slain his enemy. I'd actually like to check like that circle, like that thing's been in my mind that he went to. Like, has that thing changed since we slain him?
The light of the ritual circle, the runes that were inlaid into the floor, there is no glowing coming from each of the runes. As far as you're concerned, the ritual has been dispelled with his last breath. It is as harmless as water to you guys.
Okay.
But
Then,
you're absolutely allowed and completely within your power to take your grief out on the runes in the floor if you wish.
yeah, I will. I'll make an attack.
Now, you look upon the now reformed ebon runed battle axe in your hand. The runes of light now along its edge. You take it in for a few moments as the glow lights up your face in this dark place. And you bring the edge down on one of those runes and it shatters, leaves a crater in the floor. And you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. Tears in your eyes, just bam, 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 bam. And then you begin to weep. You're accompanied by the darkness of this place, lifting. But as you know, all too well, the light in your hearts, you will understand that darkness like the world has never seen has touched this place. It'll be a very long time before the shadow finally lifts. What do you all wish to do here?
I'm gonna walk over to Kirkfall, and put my hand on his shoulder, or wherever I could grab, and be like, I know you can't see, but I will guide you and make sure that you're safe, brother. Don't worry.
As the echoes of Tone's grief pass around me and through me, I gaze upward through the hole in the ceiling, up toward what I believe is the sky. And is there any light at all there? I search, just looking for any stray beams of sunlight or anything. And knowing the God, the sun herself lays before me, I don't expect to see it, but there's always hope. And then I look down once again, look over at Tone helping Kirkfall, look over at Moon, and I say, was it enough? We won, but what have we won?
Hopefully we took out the head so the rest of the body may follow after.
What's left of the body? Kirkfall is looking up and around, reaching. What's left of the body? It's already come back multiple times.
I'll look down and look at the body of the goddess. Obviously, the wound of her throat being slit is still there, yes?
That is correct. You see the corpse of a god.
The body is like any other, unfortunately. She does not breathe. I'll check her as if I were checking someone to see if I can find any sign whatsoever of life, any little kernel of life, even if it's just anything. Check the wrist, lean down to see if I can feel a breath, anything.
You discover nothing. She breathed her last sometime in the middle of the battle.
She is gone.
And Kirkfall asks, as he's kind of, his eyes are scanning, he's just like, tell me of her importance. What is her name, her full name, her dominion, her people? Who would any of us know that?
I would assume I would.
Of course,
I could be
the
wrong.
goddess Levantine is the lady of the dawn star, the goddess of light and day. She is the twin of Feldane, the Lord of Night.
Which I would definitely know.
Of course.
And I will relay that. That she is my people's, the typical god of my people, the twin, the light to the dark.
She's honored by my people as well, being the goddess of the sun and bringer of life. I'll begin looking around to see if there's anything I can possibly wrap her body in that would be suitable for us to carry her out of this horrible place, to bring her back to the surface at least.
There seems to be a dark gray tattered linen that she's laying upon that was somewhat of a makeshift tablecloth, but you could possibly wrap her up in that.
Moon will unclasp his cloak and wrap her in his own cloak. She's too good for rags. Much too good for rags.
Kirkfall kneels down next to her, and I had a purpose. I'm the mule to carry her back, and that is an honor. I am the beast of burden.
Once Moon wraps her up, I'll gently lift her body and turn toward Kirkfall and say, Kirkfall, hold your arms out. And I place her body gently in your arms. So guard her well, my friend. Maybe bringing her to the light will bring you to the light again someday.
Would somebody take my my blades and my daggers, even though I may have not need for them, but they're good cooking utensils, if anything.
You'll swing them again someday, my friend. But yes.
Could Tony even carry them? Just kidding.
If you guys wish, you could possibly put her on the wooden table that's nearby if you all wish to act as pallbearers for her as you take her out of this hard place.
I think it might be better to carry her and someone lead Kirkfall.
Kirkfall is still
I assume
blind.
he's not
Yes,
used
you need
to.
a lead.
Sorry, what was it?
Kirkfall is still blind at this time, so yes, you will need a guide.
I was going to say he's not going to be able to.
You
He's
just
gonna
have
need
to
a
rub
guide.
it in, don't you?
Yeah. So there's
If you drop the body of a goddess, I will be mad at you, even though we are companions.
I won't drop her. As he holds her up and almost cradles her like a baby. But
Yes, Moon, if you want to,
you guys are the eyes now, and there must be something important in this chamber.
Okay. I'll begin looking around to see if there's anything of import, anything of use that might help us figure out exactly how you did this thing. Maybe with that we can possibly restore life to her, or if it's even a thing, find another.
There's nothing in here that you could find in that vein of thinking. These are all shadow-tainted texts, curses, anathema, that sort of thing. In the mindset of treasure, however, the wizard amongst you might find some implements that would further his study, possibly something not corrupted by the darkness.
I'll check for those. At the same time, I start thinking, how do you bring a goddess back to life? What is the source of life for these things? And I think to myself, maybe I'll search my mind about it's possible that the heart of elemental might be of help here. So
that is actually not part of your wild pillar. That is not something that you would know of.
okay, yeah, just speculation in my mind, but that'll be something probably to be more of a priestly thing. Still, I'll gather up things that may be useful that I see, and I'll. Is there a maybe useful for later, but is there a like a staff or a long pole I can possibly find around here somewhere? I'm thinking to myself,
did have a staff.
okay, I'll look at it and see if it feels shadow tainted at all. Got a 19 there.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay, I'll place that on the altar. And anything else I can find that's shadow tainted, I'll bring over to the altar as well and just sort of start stacking it. So
Which is going to be most of this room.
Yeah, I'm just basically putting it all in a big pile in the middle if possible. And I may even ask the other guys to help me as well.
Yeah,
I'm going to burn this place and clean it out.
Yeah, we had the exact same idea. Moon's helping, 100%.
Okay.
Well done.
Okay.
Well done.
And once it's all together and I get the few things that are useful off to one side, I'll motion everyone back toward the main door, and I'll strike a flame to something flammable at first. Let it begin eating into the darkness, and then I'll call the wind, my pillar, to feed the flames, make them burn hotter, as hot as I can. And I will strain and keep that up until everything in that pile is ablaze.
It will take
So-
some time for the wind to answer you this far underground, but it does.
Yes.
The wind
And,
comes racing down the hallway and to meet you, almost caressing you. And then it devours your bonfire.
I'll step back and I'll say, at least you brought some light into this dark place. I think it's time we go, gentlemen. We have late escort. And I'll turn and head toward the entrance and back toward the surface.
It is easy to find your way back out to the mouth of the cave at the bottom of the chasm. You find, again, that bed of skeletons, half dressed and half not. There must be thousands of victims here, over 1,000 cycles. Seloth has terrorized this area and taken victims of other kingdoms. I need Moonstrider to make an awareness roll.
It's, 13. Actually, he's going to forte that.
Fantastic.
$18.
Excellent. By use of your Witchfire lanterns, you would go to mount the stairway to leave. Moonstrider's dark, shadow fey eyes catch a glint of a silvery light on the edge of the sea of bones. What does he do?
Does he know off the cuff what it is, or it's just a silver light?
Looks to be the hilt of a sword.
He's gonna motion to his companions to follow. He's gonna point, and then motion. Whoever is not leading Kirkfall specifically, he's gonna motion to him to kind of follow close, and warily he's gonna approach the silver light.
The sea of bones in some places is knee and or hip deep. As you walk across, you crunch and splinter bones. As you walk out, it's a dreadful sound as we hear Moonstrider actually nimbly walk out to this thing. He sinks to his waist in the bone dust as you're able to reach out with your left hand and grasp the hilt of this sword as your fingertips, those fine, beautiful, but calloused fingertips of your archer hands, it brushes across a hard and old oaken hilt, and you draw free a war sword of fey iron. Clearly, this is an artifact from a time before the mortals, forged by unseelie hands somewhere in the depths of Oberon. This was once a blade that rode on the hip of an Umbriad ranger, lost to time, a nameless ranger. And familiarly, the crossguard on each side of the blade are oak leaves. a symbol you are both most familiar and quite fond of.
Would Moon recognize the actual blade?
No, the sword itself has no name that you are aware of.
Is it just the blade or like sheath and all that?
The sheath is there as well. However, the sheath is in bad shape and would need to be refitted.
Moon will look at the blade and the sheath. Will just kind of stares at it for a good 15, 20 seconds, just admiring all the different pieces of it and what it symbolizes and what it might mean.
Even down here in the blackness, where the sun could not touch when she was high in the sky, the sword itself will shed the light of the sun from the first age. She still lives within at least a portion of this sword, or at least her light.
He will gingerly sheathe the sword, carefully wrap it up, attach it to his hip, and walk over to Kirkfall if he still has the body. And touch his forehead to her forehead and just whisper thank you. And shed a few more tears.
From the stairway, Draugr will find at the bottom of the stairway, half buried in the gravel, a disc of metal, a gray, tarnished, scarred, and dented disc. As you kneel to brush the dust away, there is a Fey Irons implement here. What do you do?
I'll reach down and pick it up. How large is it? Is it just a small disc or a larger one? Or
No, what this is an ancient great shield, almost as tall as you are. You're going to need to make an athletics test to pull it free of the gravel beneath you.
$23.
It does resist for a time, but you are able to tear this shield from the earth. And as I described earlier, it is a great shield, an oval shield. The straps and the handle are lost to time. And the one remaining bronze buckle on the inside of the shield that was meant for the shoulder strap hangs on by a pathetic strand of aged leather. The shield, like I said, is scarred from many battles taking hits. It is tarnished, for it was never polished. It was never meant to be a parade or ceremonial shield. It is dented from many a concussive strike of a mace or a shield or what have you. But clearly, this is an implement of the Second Age. A time, possibly, shortly before your people had met the Numercian mortals from across the river. From the time of the giant killer and the forming of the great houses.
I'll hold it up and say, this is definitely the shield of a warrior. And I'll rig some rope into the, if I can, to secure it to my back. And I'll have to get this back to someone who can refit it with the fittings it needs. But it'll be a great shield to wear upon my arm going into battle again, especially on the next quest to restore the sun. For I will make it my life's work.
Beautiful. From here, gentlemen, I will politely fast forward our travel as you limp back home. But first, as you reach the summit of Dreadgore's Rift and you look out onto the sea, you do witness something beautiful beyond your imagining. As the goddess, the corpse of the goddess, is borne to the surface, she glows for a few moments, and then a ray of brilliant sunlight shoots across the sky, across the line and the breadth of the world, and it slams into the edge. This will be far, far off in the distance your mortal eyes could not see. But one last rebuttal of the sun. That bright light hits the Fey realm, and the darkness of the world is now cast into a perpetual state of gloom, where there is some healing and life-giving light. Dragon's skin will now feel warm as he begins to take nourishment from the sun, being descended from dryads himself. His body cried out for such light. He does feel some of his vitality remain, and you guys do feel the faintest of rays, almost as a perpetual state of dusk. On the edge of a world surrounded by the fairy realm, you limp your way back to Teriak, the realm of the Umbriad, after paying your respects and witnessing the beautiful renaissance of the sun light from the fairy realm. Now begins a new era known as the Gloomwillow cycle. You will close the session with a couple soliloquies. When you find your way back to the realm of the Umbriad, I would like a soliloquy from Moonstrider.
Once we finish our journey back to my home, Moon will take some time for himself, just contemplating everything that's happened. Once again, when he's alone, once again he'll just kind of shed some tears, because he just can't forget the death of the goddess and how beautiful she was. He weeps for the scarring of his own face. He weeps for Kirkfall, as he is, as far as we know, blind forever. And he just doesn't know how to deal with all this. I mean, it might take a while for him to fully grasp everything that's happened and accept it, really. I mean, he saw it all happen, but it just feels like too much bad luck to be real. And when he finally accepts it all, and if you will, goes through the stages of grief and grieving, one thing that'll help him heal will be the light of the sword that he calls Levantine's smile. And he promises to practice with the sword and spread her light through the land.
Beautifully done. You spend a few months recuperating and on no small amount of needed leave and comfort from your hard road. For 4 months in the depths of Teriak, the underworld city of the Shadow Fae. What has Tone been doing for the past 4 months? And what do we see in his heart and in his mind in these moments?
Well, what's in Tone's heart and mind at first is, feeling the crazy, overwhelming feeling of putting his axe into this evil shadow feeling, and having his axe transform was a feeling unexplainable. And then to be dealing with Kirkfall and been guiding him back and just helping him as much as possible. And then getting back to where the Umbriads, and I would go, from having my visions, I would imagine I would probably still be having some on the road. So once we get back, I would go right back to the Queen once I know I had Kirkfall all set up. And then not really sure from there. I imagine I would be doing some stuff for the Queen by perhaps her helping out Kirkfall. But yeah, and being trapped in the darkness. I know the rest of the world still is not the same with the sun, but being in the sun his entire life, the darkness is a tough thing to get used to.
Beautifully said. I would like a soliloquy from Dragon.
One of the first things I'll be doing when I arrive at the city is of course finding someone to repair the shield, polish it up, and clean it. Attach new fittings to it, and I'm going to ask that they etch a symbol of Levantine on the front, but to, if possible, do it in ebony to represent my mourning for her passing. And once I've started that, I'll probably spend most of that time poring over tomes in the library, looking for anything that may help this shadow blindness that Kirkfall has had befallen upon him. Even going into the most obscure and outlandish tales that may be out there, just to see if there's anything else that might be done for him. And after exhausting that, I suppose I'll take out my sadness and the horror of seeing the sun herself die there in front of me with the wonderful ladies of the brothels all over town. Trying to drown my sorrows, if you will. But still thinking in the future that maybe my destiny after seeing her die is to find someone to bring her back. That, like the great heroes that have come before me, maybe it's my destiny to do something truly great for the world. But knowing that I can't do it alone, I'll have to have companions to do it with me. And I found some great ones. Well, if I can get Tone healthy again after all of this.
Beautifully said. You can find solace and comfort within many arms of the brothels all over the Fey City. But it never seems to actually help. For that kind of grieving will take a very long time to heal. When you're able, you've brought Kirkfall to the court of the Queen, and she does lend her assistance in healing his eyes. But she does tell you that her healers will take time. They will restore his eyes, but it will take time, she promises. If Kirkfall wished to stay within the city and be cared for as such, she opens her home to him until he is able to leave. I would like a soliloquy from Kirkfall.
Kirkfall is silent for a moment. And after a time, he turns and he begins speaking. He says, Your Majesty, I have been seeing. I can describe how the sun rose. A ribbon at a time. And the colors have continued to ebb in my view. And I appreciate your offering of assistance, and I'm willing to take it, for I understand that the Umbriad or the Fae are very knowledgeable in these ways. But the pain of my chosen family may be distant, but is felt within the big beast. And he kneels and kind of thanks her before standing up.
She gracefully and graciously nods. She opens her home to all four of you. Your 4-month time passes. Tone is offered a place in the home of the Queen. Kirkfall is given the ability to come and go as he wishes. Moonstrider finds solace in the woodlands when he needs a time to grieve on his own. He's been a loner his entire life. But he does promise the party that he will return. He just must see to a handful of things before then. Dragon is also able to come and go as he wishes. For the Umbriad have always been a friend to the Arborians and offered many a wayward ranger or traveler home in their underworld halls. At this point, we will see the stage curtains begin to close. As our view from the audience, we will see the captain that met you at the gate, Lorella, the beautiful Umbriad who attempted to put Kirkfall in his place. She comes to him in his room, in the apartments that he was given until he was able to be healed. She calls to you softly. She says, I was worried that you would not return. And so you have. And I am glad. And there's a catch in her voice. You hear her feet walk across the stone floor as she then puts a cold, graceful hand on your cheek. She will then lean forward and kiss Kirkfall softly. I will be here until you are healed and you are able to see if you wish of me to be with you. The stage curtains will then close for a time as our credit reel will crawl. But short time, a lingering, a short time later, the stage curtains will then reopen and we will see the image of the now scorched rift each you had left ablaze. We see a cloaked figure in a charcoal gray tattered cloth, not unlike a burial shroud, pulled across the broad shoulders of a fae. He is male. His hair is black, He has a short beard. We see this figure walk down the stairs and through the halls. And as soon as he gets to Seloth's lair, he throws his cloak back to reveal the sword of Arborea, Knight's Tooth, the sword of the giant killer. As this wanderer slowly stalks down the stairway. In his right hand, we see around his wrist a golden bracelet. This bracelet, those of us who are familiar with the fair folk, it is a wedding bracelet. This figure is married to some fair folk maiden far off. With his right hand, he goes into a satchel and pulls out an ancient tome. He turns to a page and he mutters something. And he looks over at the place, the pile of ash that was once Seloth. And he conjures him up. He conjures him back from the realm of the dead, places him whole again in shadow and bone, closes his book, and he sneers in Feywise. You weak thing. My kin and his companions laid you low. As he walks over with his left fist clenches Seloth around the throat. On his left index finger, we see an ebon and purple ring, an alloy of the void. He means to strangle the life from this shadow demon. They were not able to lay you low forever, but I am death. He pulls back his cloak and we see an Arborean of ancient stock, viridian-eyed and black beard. I will undo you. He lifts Seloth to his feet and then choke slams him to the floor, shattering his bones. And he utters a terrible, terrible curse from the necromancy pillar as Seloth is banished from the realm of mortals for all time. There's a few moments when Kale looks down upon the lair. He then looks down upon his left hand and seeing the void ring therein as the void whispers to him. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. This is the last session of Shadows Beyond the City here with On the Edge of Shadow, my co-author, Keith Battles. Thank you very much for helping me design this. I would like to extend a very powerful and loving thank you to the rest of my players. Steve, thank you for coming and joining us. Dave, you've been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Alex, I love having you around. All of your characters are fucking gold. Thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the campaign. Good night, all.